most important conversation you will ever have is the one that's happening right now inside your own mind. Listen to me carefully. Your life is moving in the direction of your strongest thoughts. What you repeatedly tell yourself in the quiet moments when nobody's listening is shaping your destiny with more power than you can imagine. I'm challenging you today. For just 7 days, only 1 week of your life, transform how you speak to yourself and watch as your entire world begins to change. The voice that whispers to you in moments of trial, in moments of opportunity, in moments of decision, that voice is either building you up for greatness or tearing you down toward defeat. Tonight, I stand before you with an urgent message. The greatest battle you will ever fight isn't against any external enemy. It's the war being waged in your own mind. Your thoughts are not mere passing clouds. They are the seeds of your tomorrow. What you plant in the garden of your mind today will grow into the forest of your future. Many of you are living far below your potential, not because of your circumstances, not because of your background, not because of what others have done to you, but because of what you've been saying to yourself. You have been your own worst enemy, your own harshest critic, your own greatest obstacle. But tonight that changes. Tonight marks the beginning of a new chapter in your personal history. The chapter where you learn to talk to yourself like the winner you were born to be. For too long, many of us have allowed the internal conversation to be hijacked by doubt, by fear, by painful memories of past failures. We replay our mistakes like favorite songs on repeat. We rehearse our limitations as if they were lines in a play we're destined to perform forever. We speak defeat over our dreams before we've even given them a chance to breathe. I'm here to tell you that this pattern stops now. The transformation awaiting you on the other side of these 7 days will astound you. Relationships will improve. Opportunities will appear. Courage will rise within you. Solutions will become clear. And most importantly, the person you see in the mirror will finally reflect the champion you were created to be. The next 7 days could be just another ordinary week in your life, or they could be the turning point you've been waiting for. The choice is yours. But I urge you with everything in me, choose transformation, choose victory, choose to talk to yourself like a winner, and watch as winning becomes your new normal. What you consistently say to yourself has more power to shape your reality than almost any other force on earth. Your brain is listening to every word, every syllable, every tone, and it's responding accordingly. Modern neuroscience has revealed what the great achievers throughout history have always known intuitively. The human brain physically changes in response to repeated thoughts. It's called neuroplasticity. When you repeatedly think certain thoughts, neural pathways are formed. The more you use these pathways, the stronger they become, like dirt paths that eventually turn into highways through constant use. This means the negative statements you've been repeating to yourself, I'm not good enough. This is too hard for someone like me. I always mess things up, aren't just harmless expressions of frustration. They're actively carving highways of limitation in your brain. Your nervous system doesn't distinguish between what's objectively true and what you tell yourself is true. It simply responds to the instructions you give it. Consider this. Research has shown that athletes who engage in positive self-talk improve their performance by up to 20%. Students who practice affirming self-talk before exams score significantly higher. Patients who maintain optimistic internal dialogue recover faster from illnesses and injuries. I've witnessed transformations that would astound you. People who change nothing about their external circumstances. Same job, same relationship, same bank account, but revolutionize their internal conversation. 6 months later, you wouldn't recognize them. Their posture changed, their energy changed, their results changed. All because they changed what they were saying when they talked to themselves. One individual I mentored was passed over for promotion 7 times. 7 times. When we first met, his internal dialogue was toxic. They'll never choose me. I'm not leadership material. I don't have what it takes. We work specifically on transforming this self-talk. Within 9 months of changing this internal narrative, not only was he promoted, but he was asked to lead a division that hadn't even existed when we started our work together. But here's the invisible barrier that most people never overcome. They don't realize they have the authority to change their internal dialogue. They treat their thoughts as if they're objective observations of reality rather than subjective creations that can be revised, edited, or completely rewritten. Let me be absolutely clear. You are not your thoughts. You are the thinker of your thoughts. You are the author of your internal script. And starting today, you are going to write a new story, the story of a winner. The fundamental difference between those who achieve greatly and those who merely exist is not talent. It's not opportunity. It's not connections or resources. It's how they talk to themselves in the face of challenges, in the face of opportunities, in the face of daily life. And winners talk to themselves differently than others do. When faced with obstacles, the average person says, "Why does this always happen to me?" The winner says, "This challenge is here to make me stronger." When confronted with opportunity, the average person says, "I'm not ready. What if I fail?" The winner says, "I was born for this moment. I will give it everything I have." When making daily choices, the average person says, "I'll try my best." The winner says, "I commit to excellence in everything I do." I call this the difference between victim mentality and victor mentality. The victim's self-talk is passive, reactive, and focused on what can't be done. The victor's self-talk is active, proactive, and focused on possibilities. The principle is simple yet profound. Speak to your potential, not your problems. Your problems are temporary, but your potential is permanent. Your problems are circumstances, but your potential is your essence. When you speak to your potential rather than your problems, you activate resources within yourself that problems cannot touch. Let me tell you something that may shock you. Many of you have been engaged in negative prophecy with your own words, spoken silently to yourself. You have been prophesying failure, mediocrity, and defeat. And like any prophecy that's believed and repeated enough, it has come to pass in your life. These are self-fulfilling prophecies. But starting today, for the next 7 days, you're going to break that cycle. You're going to become a prophet of victory in your own life. You're going to speak to yourself like the winner you were born to be. Day 1 is all about awareness. You cannot change what you do not acknowledge. Today, become ruthlessly honest about your current patterns of self-talk. What are you constantly telling yourself? What phrases do you repeat in moments of stress? What do you whisper to yourself when you look in the mirror? What's the background music playing in your mind as you go about your day? Most people are shocked when they actually pay attention to their internal dialogue. They would never speak to a friend the way they speak to themselves. They would never tolerate someone else speaking to them with such criticism, such doubt, such harshness. Yet they've normalized this toxic relationship with themselves. I want you to conduct a mental inventory today. Carry a small notebook, and whenever you catch yourself in negative self-talk, write it down. Don't judge it, just observe it. Become aware of the patterns. Some common ones to look for. I always mess this up. Why am I so stupid? They'll never accept someone like me. I'm too old / young / fat / thin / inexperienced / damaged to succeed at this. Who am I kidding? This awareness exercise may be uncomfortable. That's good. Discomfort is the first sign of growth. By the end of day 1, you should have a clear picture of the negative soundtrack that's been playing in your mind. This awareness is the foundation for everything that follows. You cannot rewrite what you haven't read. You cannot heal what you haven't diagnosed. Day 2 is about rejection. Now that you're aware of the negative self-talk patterns, it's time to actively refuse them. This is not passive. This is a decisive action of your will. When the familiar negative thought comes, and it will come, you must reject it immediately. This requires mental vigilance. The moment you catch yourself saying, I can't do this, stop mid-sentence. Out loud, if possible, say, I reject that thought. It is not the truth about me. Some people find it helpful to imagine physically grabbing the negative thought and throwing it away. Others visualize a big red stop sign the moment the negative self-talk begins. The key is immediate action. Don't analyze the negative thought. Don't negotiate with it. Don't try to reason with it. Reject it completely and decisively. This might feel strange at first, like you're being rude to a part of yourself. But remember, these toxic thought patterns are not the real you. They're habitual imposters that have taken up residence in your mind without your conscious permission. By consistently rejecting these thoughts throughout day 2, you're preparing the ground for new patterns. You're creating space in your mental environment. You're asserting your authority over your thought life. This is not denial of difficulties or challenges. It's denial of the limited, defeating interpretation of those challenges. Day 3 focuses on replacement. Nature abhors a vacuum, and so does your mind. It's not enough to reject negative self-talk. You must replace it with winner's self-talk. Today, you'll create powerful, personalized affirmations to fill the space you created through rejection. Effective self-talk replacement follows a simple structure. It's present tense, positive, personal, and packed with emotion. Instead of, I hope I don't fail, your new self-talk might be, I am confidently mastering this challenge right now. Instead of, why am I always so disorganized? Your new statement might be, I am increasingly organized and efficient in everything I do. These aren't wishful thinking or empty phrases. They're declarations of the truth about your potential, your purpose, your authentic self. They're aligning your internal conversation with the reality of who you were created to be, not the limitations of past experiences. Take time today to write out at least 10 powerful replacement statements that specifically counter your most common negative patterns. Personalize your winner's vocabulary. If you struggle with confidence in public speaking, create an affirmation like, I communicate with clarity, power, and authentic connection. If you battle with procrastination, your statement might be, I take immediate action on my priorities with focused energy. The key element is emotion and conviction. Don't just robotically repeat these phrases. Infuse them with the full force of your belief. Speak them as declarations of truth, not as hopeful suggestions. Your nervous system responds to emotional intensity. When you speak to yourself with passion and conviction, those neural pathways we discussed earlier form much more quickly and become much more resilient. Day 4 is dedicated to repetition. Any new habit requires consistent reinforcement to become automatic. Today, you focus on strategic repetition of your new self-talk patterns. Science tells us that habit formation follows a predictable path. What feels awkward and requires conscious effort at first eventually becomes automatic and unconscious. But this transition requires repetition, lots of it. Identify strategic times throughout your day for deliberate self-talk practice. The 3 most powerful times are first thing in the morning, just before challenging situations, and last thing before sleep. These are moments when your subconscious mind is most receptive to programming. When you wake up, before your feet hit the floor, repeat your new empowering declarations. This sets the tone for your entire day. Before any challenging situation, a meeting, a difficult conversation, a workout, take 30 seconds to remind yourself who you are and what you're capable of. And just before sleep, when your brain is preparing for its night of processing and consolidation, reinforce the truth about yourself one more time. Beyond these strategic times, look for ways to anchor your new self-talk throughout your normal activities. Put reminders on your phone. Post sticky notes on your mirror or dashboard. Create a screensaver with your key phrases. The more you saturate your day with these new patterns, the faster they'll become your default. Expect resistance during day 4. Your old patterns won't surrender without a fight. When you feel silly or doubt the process, that's not a sign it isn't working. It's a sign that your old programming is desperately trying to maintain control. Push through this resistance with even more determined repetition. The breakthrough is just on the other side. Day 5 introduces the power of visualization. Today you'll combine your new self-talk with vivid mental imagery to accelerate the transformation process. Champions in every field use this technique. Before they ever step onto the field, the court, the stage, or into the boardroom, they've already experienced success countless times in their minds. They don't just tell themselves they can succeed. They see it, feel it, taste it, and hear it in advance. I want you to create detailed mental movies of yourself embodying the truth of your new self-talk. If your affirmation is about confidence in public speaking, visualize yourself standing tall, making eye contact, speaking with authority, and receiving positive responses. Make the images as detailed as possible. What are you wearing? What does the room look like? What does your voice sound like, echoing through the space? The technique is simple. Close your eyes. Take 3 deep breaths. Speak your affirmation out loud. Then immediately see yourself living the reality of that statement in vivid detail. Experience the emotions of success. Feel the satisfaction, the confidence, the joy of being the person described in your affirmation. Do this exercise at least 3 times today, spending 5-10 minutes each session. Your brain doesn't clearly distinguish between a vividly imagined experience and an actual one. Both create neural pathways. Both generate emotional responses. Both influence your subconscious programming. By combining declarative self-talk with experiential visualization, you're creating a multi-sensory immersion in your new identity. This accelerates the transformation process dramatically. Day 6 is about application. It's time to take action while maintaining your new internal dialogue. Today you'll put yourself in situations where you can apply your winner's mindset to real-world challenges. Choose at least one activity that would normally trigger your old negative self-talk patterns. If you've told yourself you're bad with numbers, tackle a financial task. If you've convinced yourself you're socially awkward, initiate a conversation with someone new. If you've believed you lack discipline, start a challenging workout. The key difference is that you'll approach these situations while consciously maintaining your new self-talk. When the old thoughts attempt to resurface, and they will, immediately implement the reject and replace strategy you've been practicing. This requires courage. It's one thing to practice new thought patterns in the privacy of your own mind. It's another to test them against real-world resistance. But this step is essential. Application is where mental concepts become lived reality. You might experience setbacks today. It's not just normal, it's necessary. Each setback is an opportunity to strengthen your commitment to your new identity. When you stumble, don't revert to old patterns of self-criticism. Instead, tell yourself, I'm learning, I'm growing. This is part of my journey to mastery. Look for small wins and celebrate them. Did you maintain positive self-talk for the first 5 minutes of a challenging situation before the old patterns crept in? That's progress. Did you recover more quickly from negative thoughts than you would have a week ago? That's victory. These small wins build confidence and momentum toward major breakthroughs. Day 7 is about testimony. Today you'll solidify your transformation by articulating your experience to others. Teaching something is one of the most powerful ways to internalize it yourself. Find at least one person with whom you can share what you've learned this week. Explain the power of self-talk. Describe your journey of transformation. Be vulnerable about your struggles and clear about your breakthroughs. Offer them specific strategies that have worked for you. When you articulate your experience, several powerful things happen. First, you organize your thoughts in a way that deepens your own understanding. Second, you publicly commit to your new identity, which strengthens your resolve to maintain it. Third, you create accountability, knowing that someone else is now watching your ongoing transformation. Beyond this individual sharing, I want you to become a living testimony of the power of winner self-talk. People should notice a difference in you, in your confidence, your resilience, your positive energy. When they ask what's changed, don't be shy about explaining your discovery. Your authentic testimony will inspire others more than any theoretical explanation ever could. The principle at work here is profound. We internalize most deeply what we give away freely. By sharing your experience with others, you're not diminishing your transformation, you're cementing it. This brings us to the end of our 7-day journey, but it's really just the beginning of your new life. These 7 days have given you the foundation. They've interrupted old patterns and established new ones. They've shown you the power you have to shape your reality through your internal dialogue. But transformation is not an event, it's a process. The work you've begun must continue. The habits you've established must be strengthened. The identity you've claimed must be lived out daily. I challenge you to commit to this journey for the long haul. Make your winner self-talk a non-negotiable part of your daily life. Guard your internal environment as carefully as you guard your physical health. Be as intentional about the words you speak to yourself as you are about the words you speak to those you love most. Remember that you're reprogramming decades of conditioning. There will be days when the old patterns resurface with surprising strength. Don't be discouraged by this. Don't use it as evidence that the process isn't working. Instead, see these moments as opportunities to reinforce your reinforcement, your commitment to your true identity. The difference between those who achieve lasting transformation and those who experience temporary change is simple. Persistence through difficulty. When the initial excitement fades, when the journey becomes challenging, the winners keep going. They maintain their winner's self-talk, especially when they don't feel like winners. I believe in you. I believe in the power of this process. I believe that the person who stands here 7 days from now will be fundamentally different from the person sitting here today. Your circumstances may not have changed dramatically in such a short time, but you will have changed. And when you change, everything eventually changes. My friends, we stand now at the crossroads of decision. 7 days. That's all I'm asking of you. 7 days to revolutionize the most important conversation in your life, the one you have with yourself. 7 days that could alter the entire trajectory of your future. What we've discussed isn't complicated, but it is profound. The simple truth is this: how you speak to yourself ultimately determines how you live your life. Your internal dialogue isn't just background noise. It's the operating system running every decision, every reaction, every emotion that flows through your being. I've seen people transform their health, their relationships, their careers, their entire lives by changing nothing but how they talk to themselves. Not their circumstances, not their resources, not their connections, just their self-talk. And the results have been nothing short of miraculous. You might be wondering if this can really work for you. Perhaps you've tried positive thinking before. Perhaps you read books or attended seminars that promised transformation but left you unchanged. I understand that skepticism, but what I'm offering you isn't just positive thinking, it's deliberate, strategic reprogramming of your mental foundation. Most attempts at change fail because they focus on behavior modification without addressing the root system. Your identity as expressed through your self-talk. When your actions contradict what you secretly tell yourself is true about you, your self-talk will always win that battle. That's why we've spent these days building from the inside out. Day 1, becoming aware of your current patterns. Day 2, actively rejecting toxic thoughts. Day 3, creating powerful replacement affirmations. Day 4, strategically repeating these new patterns. Day 5, adding visualization to accelerate change. Day 6, applying your new mindset to real-world situations. And day 7, solidifying your transformation by sharing it with others. This process works because it aligns with how your brain naturally functions. It works because it addresses both the conscious and subconscious aspects of your mind. It works because it combines cognitive, emotional, and behavioral elements in a comprehensive approach to transformation. But here's what you must understand. The power of this process extends far beyond these 7 days. What we've done together is plant seeds. We have disrupted old patterns and established new ones. We've shown you the tools and techniques to reshape your internal landscape. But the real harvest comes in the weeks, months, and years ahead as you continue to nurture what we've begun. I've seen people start this journey doubtful and emerge 7 days later with glimmers of hope. But those who persist beyond the initial week experience exponential growth. After 30 days, they report remarkable shifts in confidence. After 90 days, their colleagues and loved ones comment on the tangible difference in their presence. After a year of maintained practice, they look back and barely recognize the person they once were. This is the power of compound interest applied to your most valuable asset, your mindset. Small daily investments in how you talk to yourself accumulate over time, creating a wealth of mental and emotional capital that you can draw upon to create the life you truly desire. Let me be clear about something. This journey won't always be easy. There will be days when the old patterns resurface with surprising force. There will be moments when circumstances seem to contradict everything you're telling yourself. There will be people who question or even mock your transformation. In these moments, your commitment will be tested. And these tests are precisely what will strengthen your new identity. Just as a muscle must be stressed to grow stronger, your new self must face resistance to become unshakable. When these challenges come, and they will come, remember this: you are not alone. Countless others have walked this path before you. Ordinary people who decided they were no longer willing to be imprisoned by their own negative self-talk. People who chose to speak to themselves like winners until winning became their natural state. I think of the single mother who transformed her internal dialogue from "I am overwhelmed and inadequate" to "I am masterfully balancing my responsibilities with increasing grace and confidence." 6 months later, she had been promoted at work and had created a beautiful new relationship with her teenage daughter. I think of the young entrepreneur whose self-talk shifted from "I'm out of my depth, it's just a matter of time before everyone realizes I'm a fraud," to "I am continuously growing into my potential and confidently offering my unique value." Within a year, his business had tripled its client base, and he had become a sought-after speaker in his industry. These transformations aren't the exception. They are the natural result of consistently applying the principles we've explored. As we conclude this message, I want to leave you with this final thought. You already possess everything you need to begin this journey. You don't need special training. You don't need exceptional talent. You don't need perfect circumstances. All you need is the decision to take control of how you speak to yourself. That decision lies before you now. Will you continue with the self-talk patterns that have created your current reality, or will you embrace the identity of a winner through deliberate, consistent, internal dialogue? The choice is yours. But know this, I believe in you. I believe in your capacity for transformation. I believe that the voice of victory already exists within you, waiting to be unleashed. Starting today, right now, commit to speaking to yourself with the respect, encouragement, and confidence you would offer to someone you deeply believe in. Because that's who you are. Someone worthy of belief. Someone destined for greatness. Someone created to win. Talk to yourself like a winner for these 7 days. That's all I'm asking. 7 days that could change everything. 7 days that could unlock the extraordinary life that has been waiting for you all along. The conversation that will determine your destiny is happening right now in the privacy of your own mind. What are you saying to yourself? And more importantly, what will you choose to say from this moment forward? Your time is now. Your transformation begins today. Your future is waiting. Speak to it with the voice of a winner.